Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Corey McNabb coming back. It's a little dark, I know. It's early in the morning. Just coming back home from work and realized I haven't recorded the latest Here's What I Learned. So that's what today is going to be about. And I'm going to go over briefly the book, The Psychology of Money. All right, so I read this book. I know a lot of people like it. I honestly didn't vibe with it very well. There was a lot of limited mindset that I picked up. Now, there were some good things, okay? And actually, looking at it objectively, it does make sense because the whole book, it's not so much on like what mindset you need to have in order to make money, which is kind of what I thought it was. When I first started reading it, it's more so how people react when they have money. Like, what's the natural human behavior? You know, you've got some examples of really poor behavior. You got examples of really good behavior. So it kind of breaks all that down. I would say the biggest thing I learned about it kind of goes in with, you know, taking action. And I say that the section talks about what's called long tails. So the example given is there was this guy, and he came over to America from Germany in like 1939. I can't remember his name. And he started buying art. Just over the decades, bought art portfolios and all that stuff. And like, I think sometime in the 2000s or whatever, or maybe 1999, I don't remember, he ended up selling off part of his portfolio he sold it to the German government for 100 million euros. And within that portfolio that he had, there were some Picassos and some other ones that were like stupid expensive, like highly valued art. And the whole point was, he didn't just pick and choose the highly expensive stuff and buy it. He would just buy pretty much everything he could. And within that, turns out, some highly expensive things were there. So those are the long tails, right? And you've got, if you, the structure can be set up so that the long tails fund the entire venture, right? So take Amazon, for example, right? They've had so many products that have just fallen flat, like the Fire Phone, right? Just fell flat. But they are almost entirely paid off by their web services and Prime. Those are their long tails, right? The two things that just exponentially or skyrocket, whatever, right? Covers everything else. So, he gave another example of like a venture capitalist. They did a study over, I think it was a decade, maybe, and looked at 21,000 ventures that were funded. I think it was like 65% of them lost money. Only like 10% or something, you know, brought in like a 10x return or something like that. 1% or 2% brought in like a 20x return. And then it was like 0.1% or only 100 of the 21,000. I don't know if the percentages are right here. I'm just trying to remember. But it was like 100 of the ventures brought back in 50 plus X% return. And that was enough to fund everything else. So, long tails. Long tails are a big thing. But the way you do that is really just by taking action and trying it, right? more and more and more over time. I mean, in a way, it's a numbers game, right? The more you do, the more likely you are to see a long tail, that type of thing, I guess. So, but for the most part, like, the whole book references stocks heavily, and so I'm sure that's something I will get into in the future. I'm just not really there right now, so I don't know. I'll need to reread it later when I've changed my mind a little bit and see if it's more beneficial, but not saying it's a bad book, just didn't vibe with me. Feel free to check it out yourself. You might get something else out of it. And actually, I would love for you to go read it, and if you have a bigger takeaway or another takeaway, comment on this video, DM me, whatever. I want to know what you gathered from it. So guys, that's all I've got for this video. Stay tuned. I'm going to try and get these videos out weekly, along with getting the podcast back up weekly. So I'm thinking podcasts ideally will be on Mondays, and then probably these videos will either come out Wednesdays or Thursdays. But go follow me on Instagram. I'm going to start trying to put content out every day during the week. And I want to do business with you guys, get to know you guys, especially my subscribers. So, yeah. Like and subscribe. Check out next week's video, or go check out past videos. There's some really great ones. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week.